Hello everyone, in today's video we're going to be continuing our series on automation and BeamNG making family cars, and we're jumping up to 1996. So this is going to be kind of fun because 1996, let's see here, I would have been a little young to drive, but the vehicle that my folks were driving would end up being the car that I drove for many years, which is kind of fun, but that was the 93, so that was a few years earlier. So 96, let's go. All right, that sounds good to me. So we're going to concentrate again on that kind of mid two-door kind of sedan thing like we did, sort of explore our options here. 1.9, that's a tiny one. Here we go. This is not too bad. Right there. Looks kind of like that's a little big. And kind of gets a little bit smaller. 2.9. Like I said, we're trying to keep it sort of interesting here. Japan Coupe, medium, Japan, we'll go with that one. That looks pretty good. 2.6, nope, right there. That's the size I chose. All right, let's go. Oh my god, look at all the different components I have now. Now I could do partial aluminum. We'll do aluminum. It's got to be a monocue. Chassis. Ew, I'm not gluing any of that. AHS looks pretty heavy. I guess we'll go with AHS now. Now we're going to do a transverse engine. Up front, we're going to stick with the McPherson. In the back, of course, we're going to stick to the torsion beam. It's just kind of the flavor of the week in that era, kind of a thing like that. So we're going to need a new engine. Let's see here. It's 1996, so turbochargers are a thing now. We also have better fuel injection. We have better fuel economy. It's very tempting to make something fun, so I'm going to make something fun. We're going to do a i5, and it's going to be a 225. It's going to be injected, and it's going to be naturally aspirated. Let's do it. Go with aluminum. Oh my god, a 5-cylinder engine. What kind of sorcery is that? That looks good. All right, so we get something that looks, I cannot believe they have a 5-cylinder engine. And it's a 2.5 liter, so I actually got to come up here and fix this. It's a 2.5 IA. All right, that's a pretty good looking engine. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty cool, actually. Can we get a 2.5 on the nose? Yes. All right, let's see here. We'll do some, okay here. This is going to matter. This is the 90s. RPMs are going up, so we'll stick with that concept here. Lightweight forged. We'll assume a regular forged, and obviously we're going to need either harmonic damper. They're both pretty good. Going to need a little bit of balancing mass. A 5-cylinder is a very odd engine, believe it or not, which is just kind of neat sort of a thing. All right, looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. You can always the AI tune if we want to goof off a little bit here. Compression ratio, it's the 90s. We can go up a little bit better. I'm going to leave that alone. Obviously, we're going to be variable valve intakes. I have no idea what this is going to work out to be. A lot of times, if you hold your mouse there, it sort of gives you an estimate for what peak RPM. We want something like 4,000. We also want, of course, the VVL to kick in probably about 4,000 as well. Again, this is going to be an estimate. We're not sure. The VVL profile, yeah, probably want to engineer it so it's right around 7,000. Again, I don't know yet. We're not going to be sure about any of these things yet. And we're going to pop this up to 7. Like I said, this is the 90s. We get some more higher RPM engines, but that's still pretty high for a typical 90s engine. Normal, naturally aspirated, naturally. Fuel injection. We have direct injection now, which is awesome. We're just going to use multi-point. We're going to do per cylinder. And we're going to go ahead and stick to the standard here. So we have a pretty standard little header there for the purpose of sending things in. We're going to stick to regular fuel here. I don't know any of this bit yet. We'll play with that later. All right, we've been using cast mid this entire time. No reason to change that. No bypass changes. So we'll go with a high flow. We'll do reverse baffled. And we are... okay, we've got some work to do here. Not bad, not bad. I've had much worse. Very rarely do we have exhaust that's that badly choked. 200 horsepower is pretty good. Like, I know you're like, really? No, it's pretty good. I'll give myself a little bit of room to grow here. And then we're going to head over to the exhaust in here. Actually, I'm happy with that. Honestly, that's a good engine. Let's see here. We're going to crank the manifold here quite a bit more. I don't know why it keeps glitching like that. About 98% should give us a little bit of wiggly room as far as kind of expanding that. Valves are being underutilized, so we're going to head back over to those real quick. Let's see here. Cam profile, which way can we go here? It's not really doing much for us. This is one of the next problems we're going to have to change, as you're going to see where the VTEC kicks in? We need to smooth that out just a wee bit here. And again, we can fix with this in many different ways. And again, some people like to do this. I kind of like to do one of these things like that. Check it out. So that way you get this nice, smooth transition. And of course, we can take the VVL profile and we can crank this. If we this, for example, we get a very bizarrely high. We're probably getting yelled at because underutilized. Give me a minute. Let's see here. Now we need to play with the VVL RPM. We just got to get that a little more even. Right there. So that gets us 197 horsepower, 6,100 RPM. That is so typical of the mid-90s there. Not thrilled with the lack of power here, though. Let's increase the compression a little bit here. We went too far. All right, that looks pretty good. Torque's pretty flat, so at least it's a nice engine. All right, so now we got to fix with this a little bit. I'm not happy yet. I'm not happy. I still want 200 horsepower to this thing. Obviously, we can adjust the fuel map. That's going to hurt efficiency a little bit here. We could also we could advance the timing a little tiny bit, and we're going to get yelled at. Underutilized octane. Consider using higher compression. Well, if you're going to let me do that, then I'm just going to keep going until it's like peaked here. Let's see here. 190. Come on. Come on. Alrighty then. I guess that's as high as that's going to go. I guess we could do a little bit of this. Okay, now you're telling me I have some underutilized octane. That usually means increase this guy, compression. Okay, all right. I like that. I like that. 200.6 horsepower. Nice. This is a good engine. I like this one so far. Probably not the most fuel economical thing out there, but it's probably not bad. We have a little bit of wiggly room left in the headers and stuff like that, and probably a little tiny bit in the manifolds as well. Now we'll shrink that manifold so it's perfectly tuned here. Looks pretty good right there. And exhaust, like you can't win with exhaust. And no matter what you do to it, you're always going to have issues. F201, that's fine. All right, good. Nice. I like that. 90 space age, I'll stick to that. Let's go give it a quick test. It sounds very underwhelming. Not gonna lie. All right, let's continue. So we're going to want a 4-door, actually a 5-door. We've been doing 5 doors since the 1940s. So it's so ugly, though. I don't know if I could tolerate that. I do have a 5-door that's a little less awkward. Okay, I'm gonna work with that. I like that. All right, so it's the 90s. Obviously, let's see here. 1996 is when Clinton got into office. Things were going okay. The dot-com boom was about to be a thing. We're going to go with the yellow car this time. Again, I don't know what oh my God. Yuck. Oh man, look at that. That is so yellow. So yellow. Take some of the shininess out of it. It looks pretty boring. I like that. I'm gonna work with that. It's called Alfonso. Alfonsino. There we go. I like that. All right. I'm happy with that. Let's go to fixtures. But first, before we do that, I'm going to stick at a transmission here. This time, we're going to be transverse, a front-wheel drive. We're going to be an auto manual. Anybody remember those? Those things are very silly. All right, we're going to be a 4-speed automatic. Pretty typical. And, of course, we're going to be an open differential just to keep it pretty straightforward. This thing's like a Nissan Sentra or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what I've achieved. All right, sticking to my company's theme so far. Of course, we're in modern times. We can have slightly cooler headlights. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to integrate some slightly cooler headlights here, and this thing's going to end up looking identical to a Cavalier. Let's grab this one. I just like making a copy in place, but I always forget which button it is. 50-50 shot, reset scale, align to surface, copy fixture, clone fixture in place. That's the one I wanted. Boop, whoop. And we're going to make you just a tiny bit smaller. Oh, yeah, that thing, I think you all know what car that is. Now we're going to put a bumper and everything like that in. All right, so let's continue with our lights here. We'll go get ourselves a indicator. Indicator. Let's go ahead and grab this one. This one's kind of bizarre. You know, no point did I ever say these things had to be pretty. These are just demonstrating kind of the era here. That's neat. All right, swing around the back. This is begging for something that looks like that, so I have to find something that looks like that. That was actually pretty good right there. Ew, it's going to be ugly. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. 1995 called. They want their car back. Oh, yes. Look at that. Oh, man, that's painful to look at. I love it. All right, we're not doing an interior today. I'm not going to worry about that too much. Cooling, I'll go flip around to the front. Of course, we can go ahead and have a little bit of fun with the nose here. Again, this is 1990s, so again, we'll kind of stick to what we've done before. This is a little fancy for our company, but we're going to stick with it. Not bad. There's our bumper there. I'm not going to change anything with the bumper. We could put like fog lights and stuff down here for getting silly. Vents, don't think so. Scoop, don't think so. Sunroof, yeah, we'll bring back the sunroof. We haven't had it in a couple generations of this car, but hey, why not? And there we go. Okay. This is looking very 90s. Check. All right, let's keep going. It's a nice 90s, though. It's not like a tiny 90s. We're not going to do any of those things. Fuel cap. I'm going to toss that right back here. I'm pretty sure I've actually driven one of these. All right, let's see here. We need a nice 90s chunky handle here. That's pretty chunky. Can I get something that's actually got a key on it? Got a key. All right, that looks pretty good to me. I'm going to stick that right there. Pretty good. Let's go grab myself another one of those, but this one's going to be in the back like that. Oh, man, I can already feel the kids breaking the handle off this thing. Nice. What a 90s vehicle I have created. Oh, my gosh, this is killing me. Just a little bit. All right, let's go get a mirror on here. I'll just kind of pick that one. Looks pretty good. Make it just a little bit bigger. It's just a little tiny. Let's See what that looks like. Nice. I mean, it's kind of big. It's more Camry than it is whatever I want to call this, Civic. But I'm gonna work with it. I'm gonna work with it. It's usually part of the door, so I'll put that actually right there. Okay, okay. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm not going to do any fancy molding. Molding is super fun to play with in this game, but it quadruples the time this will take. Of course, we get the little nubs in the back now, which is kind of nice. Okay, nice, nice. Grab ourselves our plate. Obviously, we're going to grab this one. We'll stick that right in the middle, right there. Automation, we'll grab our handy-dandy New York plate there. Looking good. This thing, oh my gosh, this thing bleeds 1997. All right, bumper bar we're going to leave alone. We're going to grab our little decal. I'll go ahead and stick that right there in the nose. It's notable. Again, we can stick it in the back if we want to kind of complete the look. And that's just about it. I think that's what we want. Obviously, it's the modern times. We get kind of the yeah, it looks good. I'm not going to change that. Exhaust. We've been doing kind of the dual tip thing for a while. Or not dual tip, but we're just going to stick with it like that. That looks pretty good. And it does not look so good when you look at it from there, but I'm going to ignore that for now. Miscellaneous fixtures. Obviously, we need to get ourselves some handy-dandy windshield wiper blades. Let's see. It looks pretty boring. Why is it so tiny? Oh, that's why. Unfortunately, nobody can tell me why the windshield wiper would not connect to the car. That's pretty ugly. I think I'm happy with that. Nice. Driver gets one. We're not going to put one in the back. And then we get something that looks like this. Man, that's 90s. It's just, it's just fun to watch. I can feel NSYNC playing through the radio. All right, that's all good. Let's see. The clearance in the engine is getting narrow. I'm not going to change any of that. I'm not worried about it. Radial, we've done hard, long life since the beginning, and we're going to stick to that. Those tires are really, really thick for this car. I'm probably going to have to change it in a minute. Let's see here. We have discs up front. A nice big, oh my God, that's huge. That's a really big brake. Let's do a 350. Drum in the back. That's pretty much the standard. That's a gigantic drum brake. And let's just do a hunch here. I'm guessing this is going to be about 40. Let's call it that. All right, next page. We're going to be semi-clad. Brake airflow, we'll set it to 50%. It's just going to be a guesstimate. Let's see here. Standard. Again, nothing too crazy. Standard CD player. Yes, it has a CD player. Nice. Let's see here. Electric would be nice, but I'm actually going to go with variable. Stability control. What? No. We're just going to go with kind of the standard there. We don't have anything that nice in this car yet. All right, we have a couple different choices here as far as suspension goes. I want something pretty comfortable. So I'm actually going to grab the Hydro, and I'm going to go ahead and call it passive. I'm going to tune it for normal real quick, and it's going to yell at me a lot. Short gearing, load capacity is low for its volume, ride height, or spring stiffness. I can fix that. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Let's see here. Short gearing, rear tires are wide. Okay, let's go fix that first. Rear tires, shrink those down. Oh, those are 190s already. Whoopsies. Let's go pull that down a little bit. That fixed that. 190s are looking good. Let's go to my gearing. Obviously, I didn't actually check this one. I did it originally. 153 is very fast for this car. And I think we have an automobile. Family Premium. What a great car. This is like the most family. I think I've, for once, made a car that actually kind of makes sense. Let's go ahead and pull this up a little bit. I have no issues with brake fade. I have anti-lock brakes on this thing. This is a very normal car for me. Wow, this is going great. I guess the more practice I get with this, the quicker I get at it. All right, looks good to me. I'm happy with that. Suspension's fine. It's got a little bit of terminal oversteer. That's fine. It doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Coming over here, we'll head to the test track, and I'll run it through everybody's favorite Top Gear and punch it. The time to beat is 136. It's so quiet. Wow. So it's exactly as fast as the 80s version. Very interesting. So we've definitely created an interesting car here, and I'm very, very curious to see what it's going to look like over in BeamNG. Let's take a look here. A lot more economical than some of the ones we've built here. Red line's pretty safe, pretty good amount of horsepower. This is going to be interesting. I also see how this car is creeping up in weight. That does not surprise me. All right, let's go try it over in BeamNG. And here we have it. We have a very, very transparent windows. Whoopsie daisies. You don't always get these things right. All right, let's climb inside. I actually attempted to put a bit of an interior in this just for giggles. And by interior, I put that little display down there. This is so mellow. I cannot describe to you how mellow this vehicle is. You know, we've driven a lot of cars in this game over, you know, the duration of my series here. And this thing is just, oh God, those are hard tires. And this thing is just chill. It's quiet. It's I wouldn't call it refined or anything like that. It very much feels like a 3 Series BMW, kind of like out of the late 80s. It's got that kind of slight looseness to it without being like, you know, loosey-goosey. But I kind of like it, not going to lie. Let's go ahead and test this thing out here. We're going to do our quick little highway test analysis. There we go, 55. Let's see what we got for fuel economy here. Apparently it's infinity at the moment. Apparently we haven't slowed down enough. There we go. All right, we're pushing 42 miles per gallon. Now, it's a little worse than some of our previous models here, but like not bad or anything like that. Let's kick it up to 65 miles an hour. 65 miles an hour gets us at about 40, 41. It's just 50 right now when we're going downhill. All right, let's see what we got as far as performance goes. Whoa, it's a lot louder outside. I like my terrible interior here. This is embarrassing. This is so mellow. Like, we've driven it, like I said, a few cars now, but this is the first one I think I've gotten into that I feel kind of safe in. It has a little tiny bit of oversteer, which is not terribly safe, but like I'm not like having difficulty controlling the car, if that makes sense. You know, it's very much all together. You know, look at that. Oh, nice. I like this car. You know, so far my favorite in the entire series has, without a doubt, been the 50s car. The 1950s, it looked bizarre. It was way over, no control at all. The tires were just absolute garbo. But this thing is just like modern and smooth. It's a little stiff for a family. Oh, no. Oh, we wrecked it once already. Let's get another one. It's a little, wrecked. That's 2. It's a little stiff for a family car. Like I said, this feels much more like a 3 Series than it feels like I said, like a Camry or something like that. Its back end is just a little loosey-goosey. Probably could do with slightly better tires. Oh, that's another one. Oh! Yeah. Oh, I hate it when that happens. It's so quiet. So a couple things I'm finding right away, as you probably just observed a moment ago, is even though it's really, really mellow, it has kind of a tendency to, it doesn't have a lot of traction. Like, you know, this is no sport tires on this thing. I mean, I love the brakes. The anti-lock brakes really make this thing a lot safer. And I could do really, really dangerous curves like that. We'll put that rock there. It's dangerous. Love that late trail braking there. Still works. It's powerful enough. It's not like ripping powerful or anything like that. It's just powerful enough to get you in and out of trouble. But I don't feel like, you know, I'm not going to win a race with this thing or anything like that. I'm going to have some issues on this corner, I can tell you right now. I keep crashing. So this one's definitely heavier than some of the other ones we've driven. The other problem I'm noticing, like I said, the tires just aren't as good. All right, let's keep going here. Doing pretty well so far. Notice I'm like never getting into 4th gear here. I'm going to be a little more aggressive with the brakes. It's obvious that this thing just does not... Yep. There's the front wheel drive understeer everybody loves. Kind of reminds me of I'm trying to remember the name of this. A Chevrolet. I forget what company. This game, it came out a few years ago. Not GTR Evolution. Although that was a really... I spun out. Oh my gosh. Spun out a family car on a hill. It's a front wheel drive family car. But this particular, like a Chevrolet Lanchetti or something like that. I forget which name it is. But they had this game, one of the GTR games. STCC, I think it was. But they had these things, and they were so much fun to drive. Because when you get to like these turns, everybody would hit the gas at the same time, but everybody's front wheel drive. So they just sort of go, kind of, not off the road, but they couldn't go. Brakes. Yeah, it's very... It's very contained, very controlled. Like, I feel safe in this vehicle, but I definitely can tell I don't quite have the turning that I had in some of my previous models. Just, this is a slightly heavier car. Oh! The anti-lock brakes are great. And it's very quiet. You know, like I said, it really, really, really is just a 3 Series from the 80s. A little more horsepower would be good to go. I think I'm going to go off the cliff here. This thing's so chill. it does not have enough ground clearance. Oh, here we go. Here comes the fun part. Yep. Oh! I'll tell you one thing. This is the best off-road handler we've done so far. That was awesome. Kind of reminds me of like a Lancer. Okay, this is the part we've all been waiting for here. What happens when I take it on? Oh! Ooh, we get that really, really, really dangerous power-off oversteer. Because if I let go of the gas, the back end kind of floats out. Ironically, I think the 50s car with its the Mr. Drift Express there was probably the best of this. So it seems to have a kind of a dangerous speed. It's like in the 50, 60, 70 miles an hour is where this thing really, really struggles. It's just slightly unstable. Oh. Ah. Good brakes. Really good brakes. Like nice and smooth, easy brakes. All right, let's go and sneak up this way real quick. There we are. Oh! Oh! Ah! I feel like it's kind of wide. All right. Let's see if I can do this without doing any more damage to this car. I'm going to put it in park this time. All right. And, oh. All right. So this is our 1996 people car. It was interesting, I guess I want to call it. I didn't hate it. It just was kind of different. So one thing I'm noticing, especially the 80s version and then this version as well, is I feel like because like we've sort of shifted like the mechanics of the car with the front wheel drive, it's really making a fundamental difference in handling. Like I can take turns no problem, but I'm really struggling to keep the car on the road. That wasn't an issue we had in any of the rear-wheel drive family sedans that we had engineered, even the heavier ones. So I actually find that kind of interesting to see how that sort of shifted. All right, let's go take this thing off-road here. It's a little extreme off-road, but who's keeping track? Oh, ah! Let's get stuck in the first tree, I see. All right, here we go. Hey, I managed to come to a stop. Standing on the brakes. Standing on the brakes. Still standing on the brakes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are we going to stick this? No, we're not. Oh! Oh! Ah! So, that hurt. Seems we have a new passenger and it's a large tree. Is the engine still work? Incredibly, the engine still works, but unfortunately, I'm currently with tree, which makes this thing a little hard to handle. Enjoy.